Yokoso to my kimono upcycling channel. This time, I'm repairing a pair of damaged jeans using beautiful kimono fabric and the Sashiko technique. Sashiko is a traditional Japanese embroidery technique that began as a way to reinforce and repair fabric. The name means little stabs, referring to the simple running stitches used. It dates back to the Edo period 1603 to 1868, when rural communities stitched layers of fabrics together for warmth and durability. Especially in the Tohoku region, the origin of Sashiko, unique techniques developed to layer fabrics to insulation against the harsh cold. Even today, many areas still preserve their own distinctive Sashiko traditions. It also became a formal decoration carrying people's wishes and prayers for a good harvest, protection from evil, and business prosperity. Because of its durability, this technique was also used for firefighters' uniforms in the Edo period and still is used today in judo and kendo's uniforms. My husband usually buys his jeans from Zara, and this pair is about 2 to 3 years old. He used to replace them every few years and donate the old ones to charity shops. But I've learned that thrift stores are often oversaturated. About 80% of donated clothes just pass through and end up in landfills. Many of us donate with good intentions, but it actually feeds the cycle of overconsumption. So, when my husband mentioned getting a new pair, I asked if I could repair these instead. Maybe even make them more special using kimono fabric. As a kimono upcycling artist, I see the same issue in the kimono industry. Even the smallest fabric scraps are too beautiful to waste. I actually discovered Sashiko while researching ways to repair these jeans, and I love how it embodies both sustainability and craftsmanship. So I decided to give it a go. So here's the tools I'm using. A needle for thick fabric, hand stitching thread. There might be threads more suitable for Sashiko, but I have quite a few hand stitching threads from my mother-in-law, so I'm using these this time. By the way, advanced production and globalization make it easy and cheap to acquire tools and materials, but I found that ones my mother-in-law used back in the day are of much better quality and far more durable. Using her materials makes me reflect on how we consume things today. Anyways, we also need scrap fabric from previous projects. This fabric was originally a large scrunchie that I had on display at my store and listed on my web store for 6 months. Although the fabric was popular for bags and keychains, no one bought the scrunchie. So I decided to untie it and repurpose the fabric into something else. It turned out to be the perfect size for this project. And my husband's damaged jeans. First, I trimmed any loose threads around the damaged area and measured the fabric I needed. You can leave some loose threads as part of your design, but since I'm securing the edges, I've trimmed them all. If you want to showcase more of the fabric you're inserting, you can gently rip the damaged area by hand to make it slightly larger. Actually widened the tear by myself, but be careful, the fabric can fray easily, so take your time. The kimono fabric I'm using has multiple colors. I wanted to highlight the red, green, yellow, and gold, so I marked the fabric to ensure those patterns are visible. My husband has a keychain made from this peony fabric, so I thought it would be meaningful to use the same design. By the way, in Japanese culture, peony symbolize prosperity and honor, which makes them a popular kimono motif. Since kimono obi fabric is woven, it has a lot of loose threads. To stop it from fraying, I removed the unnecessary ones and ironed on a fusible sheets to stabilize the patch. As you've probably noticed, upcycling kimonos means dealing with a lot of loose threads. There are ways to minimize them, but if you're cutting the fabric into small pieces, it's inevitable. That's why tools like a sticky roller are really handy for keeping things tidy. Then I reinforced the edges with some simple stitching. I turned the jeans inside out and pinned the fabric over the damaged area. Then I flipped them back the right way and placed a hard piece of paper inside the leg to stop my stitches from catching the back layer. For this project, I'm using 2-ply stitching, twisting 2 individual strands of threads together to make it stronger and thicker than a single strand. To secure the patch to the jeans, I used whip stitches. First, I tied a knot and start with a few anchor stitches, about 1 cm from the edge, and tack in the edges by about half a centimeter. Secure them with pins and stitch all the way around. The needle should come out near the folded edge, touching all layers. Then I finish with a few anchor stitches and tack the threads between the layers. To fully secure the patch, I marked new sewing lines to make sure the stitches caught the folded edges. I hid my knot under the patch, made a few anchor stitches, and then sewed a square using basic Sashiko stitches, a simple running stitch. If you're new to Sashiko like me, this part might feel a bit tricky, but don't worry, I'll be working on a beginner-friendly Sashiko project soon, so make sure to subscribe to my channel. I used yellow threads to match the color of the patch. I think it's going to look really cool. What do you think? To straighten the patch and add a bit of visual interest, I also drew a 1 cm grid at one corner and followed the grid to create cross Sashiko stitches. This is called Hitomezashi Sashiko pattern. It's a type of Sashiko stitching where the stitch length is predetermined and stitches are made in a regular pattern along vertical, horizontal or diagonal lines. I also added some curved and straight stitches to maintain flexibility along the seam. I ended up making a similar patch for one of the ripped pockets too. That's it, good as new. By the way, I used the regular hand stitching threads this time, but if you have any recommendations, let me know in the comments. My husband absolutely loved it. Well, he kind of had to. He put it on straight away and went off to watch football. It took me a solid 2 days and I'm absolutely exhausted, but it was definitely worth it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more kimono upcycling projects. またね!